The Honourable Member for Murchison.
Thanks, Mr President. An electorate familiarisation tour provides an opportunity for members to showcase their electorates on a rotational basis as a means of informing other members of some of the industries, businesses, enterprises, opportunities and challenges that form part of that electorate. The electorate of Murchison is geographically large and diverse and therefore impossible to cover in just a few days. Consequently, King Island, which is a very important part of my electorate, needed a separate visit, and it's important for members to understand. Last month, from the 23rd to the 26th of February, we had a tour on King Island and 9 members were able to attend. Our site visits included the Hydro Renewable Energy Integrations Project. As a remote island community, King Island is not connected to mainland electricity supply. Electricity on Island was previously generated entirely from diesel, which is obviously quite expensive and not good for the environment. The King Island Renewable Integration Project was an initiative of Hydro Tasmania with the assistance of the Australian Renewable Energy Agency, or ARENA, and is a hybrid off-grid power system to supply 65% of the island's energy needs using renewable energy. The project used an innovative approach using new and existing technologies, including battery storage, with the aim of providing up to 100% of renewable energy when possible, while maintaining the system's stability and reliability. We also visited the Mixed Species Abattoir. This is a community-owned operation that's vital in the absence of any other major island facility. It is vital for processing unshippable cattle, providing local beef and sheep to local customers, and also processes wallabies, which members would be well aware is a huge problem on the island, and they're processed and sold both on and off island. We also had the privilege of visiting the redevelopment of the King Island Hospital and Health Care Centre. The renovations weren't quite complete, but we had a little sneak preview through the new part of the building, which was great, ahead of their official opening in the near future. And we're informed of the health needs of locals, and in which in many ways are quite different to the rest of my electorate. We were told that King Islanders are generally healthier, staying in their homes longer, with less incidence of obesity and diabetes, for example. The King Island Distillery we also visited, one of the new distilleries on the island, and Heidi, who owns that, pairs King Island water and native botanicals to create her ruby vodka and native gin in her bespoke copper stills, which she's very proud of. It was great to see members support the local business and bring some product home. We also visited the King Island District School. We met by the school leaders who proudly showed us around their school, and I commend them for their leadership and their efforts to make sure we're well informed about what their school offers. We also visited Phoenix House, the community garden and men's shed. All 3 of these are now co-located in a wonderful facility, and it's a place where islanders come together to find support, belonging and purpose, access services and enjoy a range of activities, including working in the community garden. Mr President, this is a credit to Sally Hanavier and her team, who have had to adapt significantly to support the community in different ways, particularly during last year, during the COVID period. Of course, no visit to King Island is complete without a trip to the King Island Dairy, and members are able to sample the King Island cheeses and also purchase some product to bring home. Really good to see you supporting the local community there. Another must visit to King Island is the amazing golf courses. We visited Cape Wickham Golf Links, which is renowned around the world. Some had a chance to play a few holes and lost balls in doing so.
Who was that?
It was a beautiful day, clear skies, warm and no wind. Just note that there was no wind that day. The next day was different. The only distraction was the King Island March flies, which take the role of annoying insects to a whole nother level. The construction of the course this is the Cape Wickham course, was completed in late 2015, and every hole on the course has an ocean view, which is extremely rare, and something golfers have travelled around the world to experience prior to COVID, but now we're seeing Australians take that opportunity. We also visited the King Island Brew House located in Bagara, which is yet to open but very soon will be, and also provide another reason to stay longer on King Island when you next visit. A sensational location looking out over the rolling farmland. We didn't get to taste the local brew, it wasn't quite ready, but that will be for another visit. We also looked at other tourism opportunities and sampled the wonderful local produce. Members enjoyed a wild harvest restaurant degustation and the following day a four-wheel drive tour. This tour took in only a small part of the island, and I know members looked at the map and thought, wow, is this the only part we've seen? It included access to private land that is showcasing sustainable farming in challenging terrain. The unique petrified forest, which is like being in a different world, and the site of the Cataraqui shipwreck, Australia's worst civil disaster that was wrecked on the west coast of King Island on the 4th of August 1845 with the loss of 400 lives, half of which were under the age of 15. There were only 9 survivors who were lucky to be found by David Howie, who was living much further north but had been attracted to the scene by the large amount of wreckage drifting around in the sea. Only 342 bodies that had been washed ashore were buried in 4 mass graves, one of the graves holding 200 people. As part of the 10 days on the island, the Poor Souls exhibition was being held at the Cultural Centre, and members were privileged to be provided with an opportunity to visit that exhibition before its official opening. And this was recognised in the Cataraqui as well. Last year was the 175th anniversary of that event, and we couldn't hold the events because of COVID. That was a particularly moving exhibition. Members also had the opportunity to meet with King Island Council, elected members, the Mayor, General Manager and Council from Flinders Island Council, who happened to be on the island at the time, and the King Island Shipping Group. This was very informative, where members were informed of the unique challenges of island life and the significant contribution King Island makes to the state's economy. Obviously, we understand now the challenges include the cost of getting on and off the island. It is expensive and challenging. One-size-fits-all approach to legislative reform simply doesn't work in many areas, such as planning and waste management in these very isolated communities. The cost of freight and access to health and education adds additional challenges to those residents. So, Mr President, the tour was intended to give members a broad overview of the island. As I said, we only really scratched the surface of this great part of the world in the 3 days we had. I wish to personally thank all the business owners, staff at the premises we visited, such as Hydro, at the golf courses, school and hospital, for being so willing to share their thoughts and experiences. I particularly thank the King Island Council and their staff who assisted in the planning and organisation, including providing some driver support on the island. That was Helen Thomas, and I particularly thank her for her input. But it was a great time, Mr President. I think everyone enjoyed it, and it's a great opportunity to showcase that really important part of my electorate.
Yeah.